So far, I haven't done anything to reduce the mess in here. Maybe I've made it worse. I don't know. I emptied out that toolbox in the back, the black one. I'm going to pull that out of here, put it in the house, and then that radio, the FT1 on top of it's got to go someplace else. So I have not figured out this inverter. It's actually annoying. It will not charge the battery unless the inverter output is on, and I don't think you can get the AC to assist the load until the battery drops to a low point where now you're already in trouble anyway. Actually what I'm doing, since we've got 8 panels hooked to this, I think, which is about too many, because I saw it put out 34 amps into this thing. What we got here? 25.4 volts. We're like already getting low. Okay, our output is 880. The solar is putting 34.5 amps in here. That's a lot. This thing is only capable of 40 altogether. So my plan was to put a 32 amp circuit breaker on here, but right now it would be popping. So I guess you'd either do a 40 something or a 50. Probably to do a 50. 63 seems to be really common for DC circuit breakers. We're still putting out an amp or two from the battery, but the problem is the AC isn't doing anything to assist this roll in here. So, and then while all this crap is going on, if I turn on my radio, I don't know how noisy this one is, but I know how noisy that one is. I got rid of the really noisy Reliable branded inverter. I still got the EP Evers, and they're fairly quiet compared to a lot of ones. And this one's not too bad. Usually what I'll do is I'll take and get some wires here and put a capacitor in between. It kind of helps filter it. So right now this one's kicking out, oh, let's see here. So far we have on this box 682 kilowatt hours, and for the year 358, for the month 106, and for the day 6.15 kilowatt hours. Now normally this thing doesn't record everything because I used to run it as an inverter only. I'm only putting 1 or 2 amps into the battery. I'm putting out 2.18 kilowatts with a load of 1.8. I've got a 10,000 BTU air conditioner running and a 5,000 in the house. And so as soon as the sun moves, this thing is not going to be sufficient. So I wired up my 63 amp breaker. We've got 2 strings of panels going into here. They've removed the MC4 connectors. I was having issues with those. So I can just shut this off at any time I want. I don't know what the longevity will be, but these are 15 bucks from Santan Solar, and they're also on Amazon for about $12. About the same price either way you do it. I'm gonna get a box eventually. So what that would be once I get to that point. This thing can only handle 80. So there's a second string of 8 gauge wire. And this one is 8, not 10, and it only has 4 panels on it. So, or excuse me, 6. And they only reach sunlight early in the morning and late at night for some reason. So these on their own would be about 8.5 amps times 3, so really about 9 times 3, so 27 worst case scenario. So these are going to go on a 32 amp breaker, and then I can disconnect them, and we'll call it good on those. And then I'll get an enclosure box and move everything and do that. And eventually one of these years I'll get something that won't interfere with my radio. But till now, it looks like this. Hey, why is it not turning on? Uh-oh! Did we kill the icon? There we go. I don't usually turn it off by the power switch. I usually turn it off by the power supply. I keep waiting for this thing to fail one day. You can see all that noise. And that's from the solar. And everything just sucks as a giant antenna. We want a limited space area. If all this stuff was not in the same room with me, not underneath my antenna, it would be a lot better. As you can see, you ain't doing no ham radio with this. Not happening. Watch this, 28. Let's see. 40 is not as bad. Lots of noise. But to me, being able to run without the power company, or not have to pay $200 or $300 a month, is worth it, because I don't get on the radio during the day. And if I'm working, I'm not here during the day. So, it's an evening thing. And if I'm just running one of these things off a battery at night, it doesn't make any noise. But, you ain't hearing anything when it's like this.